Greetings. A dashboard provides a snapshot overview of the overall performance against any particular framework. Three types of dashboards are provided as part of the Caricom monitoring system: country, thematic, and Caricom. In this video, we are going to understand country dashboard. Country dashboard represents the progress made by a selected country in the framework you are viewing. Different graphs have been used to present data and visualize the current status of a country in a particular framework. In this video, we will explain in more detail about how to interpret these graphs and what kind of information can be retrieved after interpreting these graphs. Starting from top, there are two drop-down, where the user will have to select the country for which the user wishes to see the progress, and in the second drop-down the user will be able to select Caricom or any other country to compare the progress against. Caricom represents here as overall average of all the countries under this framework. So we are basically comparing the first country progress with the progress of Caricom or any other country. The first graph, which is progress by thematic area, represents the progress of a country based on all thematic areas of a framework. The black bar indicates the target score that needs to be achieved in order to achieve the desired goal. The blue bar represents the progress of the selected country in comparison to the target score, and the yellow bar represents the Caricom average, or the comparison country which was selected in the drop-down. This graph compares the progress of the first country with the second country based on all the thematic areas of the framework. In the dashboards, we have used short names or abbreviations for thematic areas in order to optimize the space. To know their full names, the user can scroll down at the bottom of the dashboard. Now let us understand the gauge meter. Gauge meter is used over here to capture the overall progress of the first country for all the thematic areas. So suppose there is a framework which has 5 thematic areas, and then the gauge meter shows the progress of the selected country based on all the 5 thematic areas. It will also show the percentage. The next chart is progress by benchmark type, and thematic area graph shows 2 radar graphs. We can change the graph representation from radar to bar graph by selecting the bar graph value from the drop-down provided over here. Each benchmark is associated with a benchmark type that classifies what type of implementation area the benchmark pertains to. The first graph displays the progress of a country based on the benchmark types in each thematic area, while the second graph will show the progress of Caricom or comparison country based on the benchmark types in each thematic areas. By looking at these 2 graphs, we can easily compare the progress of the first country with Caricom or comparison country. Let us further move down to progress over time by thematic area. This graph displays the progress of a country based on thematic area on monthly basis. This is a moving chart. A play-pause button is provided where if a user clicks on play then the graph will be played, and as the slider moves, so will the month and year change over here. The month and year displayed over here indicates the progress of a country based on thematic area, as displayed in the graph. Functionality has also been provided over here where the user will be able to select any month and year from the drop-down, which will change the start month and year for progress over time by thematic area graph. By default, the start of the graph will be 2 years before the current date, but if the user wishes to change, then they will be able to change it from the drop-down provided over here, in which case the chart will move monthly. Now let us understand reported status against benchmarks. In this graph we will be able to view progress bifurcated by thematic areas with the color scheme set by the framework manager. Let us understand what this color represents in this framework. So at bottom we are displaying a table containing status title, status description, and status score. Please remember these colors. Now let us go back to reported status against benchmark graph. Over here, as you can see, in the first part it has a gray bar which suggests 13 numbers, so we can interpret that there are total 13 benchmarks under this thematic area, and all of those benchmarks status are data not reported. For the second bar, as you can see, 3 benchmarks have been completed, 1 benchmark is in progress, and 8 benchmarks are there where data has not been reported. This way the graph will show data for all the thematic areas. Now let us understand what status report against framework benchmarks suggests us. In this table we will be able to view the name of all the thematic areas of the framework in an accordion view. Clicking on any thematic area row will expand the row, and all the benchmarks under selected thematic area will be displayed. In benchmark listing, we will be able to view benchmark area name, status of the benchmark, country focal point, who updated the benchmark, date on which the benchmark was updated, and a link to visit the status history page. Functionality has been provided where we will also be able to export the table in PDF, Excel, and Word extension files. Additionally, functionality has been provided where we will be able to share country dashboard link with the help of these social media icons. For example, clicking on Facebook icon will open a new pop-up where we will have to provide respective login credentials, and thereafter click on Share button. Now the country dashboard link has been shared on your Facebook wall. Now let us see print functionality. We have provided print icons over here. Clicking on it will open a pop-up where the user will be able to view graphs of country dashboards. This functionality will be helpful in terms or group discussion and fact representations meetings. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know if any query related to understanding of country dashboard. A technical paper on the basis of above calculations is also available at the Caricom Secretariat.